So my time at the Independent finished. It was around about July 1994, and as I said before, I think I had 5 years that were just wonderful, and the last 2 years were less so, and probably the last 6 months were pretty dreadful because I'd previously worked for Mirrorgate newspapers. The talk was that we were potentially going to go into Mirrorgate newspapers, and the thought of going back for a second time was more than I could stand. And there was talk about redundancies, and there was talk about not redundancies, and there was this whole period where it was just very uncertain, and most of us don't really like uncertainty. And for a while there, it was a sort of it was always dealt with a good sort of healthy dose of sort of gallows humour. But what it allowed most of us to do was that basically we were getting an inkling that we were probably up for some sort of redundancy package. And most of us at Ali Nows basically got out and started interviewing like mad. So I was out talking to other people in other, and in the advertising industry, you could always go out and talk to people under the auspices of a chat. So we go and have a chat, usually over a beer somewhere. And I actually managed to find myself a role down at the Times. And for years and years, I said there was no way in a month of Sundays I'm going to work for Murdoch. But there I was taking this role, and I ended up down at Fortress Wapping as ad manager on the Times, and I was there for a good 5 years. But yeah, it was sort of people started to scatter to the winds around about that time, and there was a whole new brigade of people that came in. So our ad director Adrian O'Neill had left, Debbie Bowman had left, a bunch of my colleagues they did well out of it because basically we'd all moved on, and there were all these other ad manager positions and group heads positions that came up. But it was the end. That said, to this day, I live in Sydney, Australia, and I go back to London and probably every 18 months, and we'll find a pub, and a whole crowd of us will get together, and we'll pick up in a way that is like we never left it, you know. So I think that's fairly unique. And I've worked in a number of roles, and but that's it's a particularly special thing about the group of people we work with at the Independent.